This is not a drill, folks. This affects 80% of Americans. Gold as legal tender. So just imagine waking up stressed about your financial situation, given how high inflation still is. You turn your TV on, and here's what you see in the news. U.S. announces $1.2 billion aid package. Now think about this scenario and just tell me, how would you feel? Also, know that this aid is obviously not for Americans. That would make too much sense to do, right? Now, if you ask me, it makes me question if anybody even cares about us. I mean, we're working hours upon hours each and every single day on little to no sleep because some of us has multiple jobs. We're doing side hustles. We're basically doing our best to survive. But our lifestyle, one that we could afford with just one job years ago, is slowly becoming out of reach. Now, again, I understand that people need help, especially during war, but you gotta ask, is this our fight? In some not so shocking news, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's approval rating has now hit historic lows. Wonder why? Is it because the dollar is losing its power? Or is it because of the mass layoffs? Oh, no. Maybe it's because inflation is still high despite everything that they've done to lower it. Now you gotta wonder why people feel this way, right? How do you feel about your job security at the moment? Were you aware that a majority of jobs could soon be lost to artificial intelligence? That's just what we need, right? While we struggle with our expenses, our employment and paycheck may also be in danger. Doesn't sound much like the United States of America, if you ask me. You know what does sound like the US? Defaults and bankruptcies. We are seeing defaults at the highest level in years, with even major players sounding the alarm and filing for bankruptcy. And here I thought that things were actually getting better. And multiple states are now looking to make precious metals like gold and silver as legal tender. Now, this is a huge game changer if this happens. I guess more of us are waking up to the fact that the dollar isn't quite what it used to be anymore. Now, I hope you guys are excited to get into the updates because we're going to jump right into this. Also, for the very best way to invest or buy gold, check out the links in the description down below this video. So a new poll shows that only 30% of adults in the country have confidence in the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's, the lowest level recorded since public confidence has been tracked since 2001. Now, this is kind of weird because his colleagues say that he's been doing a terrific job.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell's approval rating dropped to 36% according to a new Gallup poll. That is the lowest reading that the poll has had for any prior Fed chair. This low vote of confidence as the Fed continues to raise rates to battle high inflation amid the threat of recession and political wrangling over the debt ceiling. Let's bring in eToro global market strategist Ben Laidler to discuss. Ben, great to have you here with us this morning to really dive into first this poll and how much of this perhaps stems from what we had seen back in 2021 and the use of the word transitory for as long as we did see that, and now even into the Fed's decision and policy pathway that acknowledges that we may enter into a recession.
Yeah, I'm not sure you would expect, Jay Powell to see this as a popularity contest, but, there's clearly a payback from 5% interest rates, but, inflation is a tax on everybody. So I think, give it some time. Let's get inflation down. And I think, we may want to revisit those numbers.
Now, I want to ask you guys just very bluntly, do you believe that Jerome Powell has done his fair share to try and tame inflation? Or has he been a letdown as he left interest rates at almost 0% for far too long? His record is now getting closer to other individuals in politics like our president, who has 35% of Americans showing confidence on his approach to the economy. 1% shy of the lowest any president has ever received, which is 34% back when former President George W. Bush was in office. Now, they should have probably conducted the survey overseas. They may have actually gotten better scores. At least that's what critics think, as the United States has just announced another $1.2 billion aid package going straight over to the Ukraine.
The U.S. is set to announce a $1.2 billion aid package to Ukraine as early as today. Now, that's according to a U.S. official familiar with the package who said it will include drones, artillery, ammunition, and air defense missiles.
And of course, this raises the question, how are we able to afford all these different aid packages? Now, your guess is as good as mine, but probably going to be coming from taxpayer money. That would be my guess. Now, to date, we've already committed almost $40 billion in military aid to their country. And while I understand that, they do need help, don't get me wrong. I also know that many of us here at home, we need help too. You know who's going to need a lot of help soon? About 80% of workers, as it's being predicted that artificial intelligence is gunning after our jobs. U.S. Brazilian researcher Ben Gortzel, he was asked about how life will be once this happens and what threat that it poses to our workforce. And well, this is what he said, quote, "You could probably obsolete maybe 80% of jobs that people do without having an AGI. Not with ChatGPT exactly as a product, but with a system of that nature which are going to follow in the next few years. I don't think that's a threat. I think it's a benefit. People can find better things to do with their life than working for a living. Pretty much every job involving paperwork should be automatable. End quote. AGI, as he's referring to, is the ability of AI to have human cognitive abilities, or basically the ability to think. Now, what's funny is that he said that people can find better things to do with their lives rather than just work for a living. So how do we go about doing that? Can I just sleep for a living? Now, I would love to do just random things and just get paid for it, but not all of us have that luxury. Some of us are stuck in one job and that's it. Saying that we can just find something else in a snap, that's just wishful thinking. Have you heard of any AI generated songs? They got Bruno Mars singing K-pop songs. I'm not kidding, guys. Look it up. You got Bruno Mars with his voice singing K-pop songs. It's insane. Now just think about that for a second. How long until artists start using this? They don't even need to record their new songs anymore. Just put it in the machine and it sounds exactly like them. We won't even know the difference when they release the album. Soon enough, they're releasing 2 albums a week. Now you gotta wonder if AI can also make bills and legislation. It seems like this wouldn't be impossible because none of us are hearing that the government jobs are in danger of being replaced. Now, on that note, were you guys aware that 23 states in our country are trying to reclaim gold and silver as legal tender? As of April, these states are with pending bills to recognize gold and silver in this way. So we got Montana, Missouri, Kansas, Oregon, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Iowa, Mississippi, West Virginia, Minnesota, Vermont, Alaska, South Carolina, Idaho, Arkansas, Maine, New Jersey, Arizona, and Texas. So what are your thoughts on this, guys? Given how many are starting to lose faith in the US dollar, it's only inevitable to see more people drive toward precious metals. And with that, is it possible that we see this approved sooner than later? Now, while that's happening, we're also going to see more corporate defaults in our system, the highest level it's been in years. Now, just to give that just a little bit more context, here's the numbers. Within just the first quarter of 2023, 33 companies have already reported that they're unable to pay their debts. So here's the worst part. There's more bad news where that came from, as Moody's, the credit rating company, they're expecting junk bond defaults to rise by 4.9% by March next year. And this is due to the fact that interest rates are so high and our economy has slowed to a snail's pace. Now, this means that around 73 junk rated companies could soon default, or in other words, the worst is yet to come. So what do you guys think about these updates? I really hate to be giving you guys all of these bad news updates, but I would rather you guys be informed rather than staying in the dark about what's really happening all around us. Make sure to leave me a comment down below so we could talk about it. And yes, the economy's in a bad way. That much is obvious. However, and here is the silver lining. There's always something to look forward to. You got money-making opportunities are all around us, and some can even do this from the comfort of their own home. Side hustles and small businesses, they can generate multiple streams of income. It's all about finding your niche. And I know we talked about precious metals a lot, but you can also invest in the stock market, real estate, especially when the prices come down. So if you guys want to learn more about these different ventures and how you can use these ventures to improve your financial freedom, feel free to drop me some comments down below. Let me know if you guys are interested in videos like that. It's time that we get back to financial freedom, but gotta take the first step. Now, before I go, guys, please drop a like for the video and share this video with a friend. Also, subscribe for your daily dose of the truth. Appreciate you guys watching. Please be kind to one another, and I will see you guys on the next one.